I got the opportunity to come back to Commerce almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago in this coming January. One of my non-academic goals was to form a Commerce ISD Hall of Honor, simply for the purpose of recognizing former students that have had a distinguished career and graduated from either Commerce High School or North School. The Hall of Honor will also recognize staff members who made a significant impact on the students of Commerce ISD or North School. And needless to say, I'm excited to see this day come to fruition. An anonymous committee is responsible for the selections, and I believe that they have done an outstanding job in selecting this special group, the first induction class in the Commerce ISD Hall of Honor. I hope that you enjoy our first Commerce ISD luncheon and induction ceremony, and thank you for being here. At this time, the high school principal, Mr. Bertie Montgomery, will present the inductee. We will read a little piece about them. You can follow along in your program. Then I will ask that they come to the front, and I will present them with their plaque and their blanket and for all the pictures that need to be taken, and then they will respond after that.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. I would be remiss if I did not add accolade to Mr. Cooper and what he's been able to do in the short time he's been here. This event is an outstanding thing, and it's something our high school kids are appreciative to be a part of today, and it's something they'll look forward to. We've already had one of them tell them that by the time they get out, they'll be in this thing too. So we're excited. It's already served the purposes. One of the purposes I have for it is for it to serve as a model for a way to live your life and to serve others, and we're excited to be here. So without further ado, we would like to begin the presentations. Our first recipient is Harry Glenn Champion. At this time, I would like to ask any member of the Harry Glenn Champion family that's here to support this inductee, would you please stand for a second to be recognized. Harry Glenn Champion, Norris School and CISD employee from 1953 to 1984. Although Harry Champion is deceased, former students still refer to him as Coach, and he is remembered for having led the 8-member Norris High School boys basketball team to a state championship, a feat unmatched since the 1964 win. A staff member for 31 years, Mr. Champion wore many hats, including 8th grade math teacher, junior high assistant football coach, varsity basketball coach, and finally, Commerce Middle School principal. His leadership as a CISD administrator supported the smooth integration of Commerce and North schools. The person who nominated Champion for the honor wrote, "Harry Glenn Champion is remembered in this community as a loving and kind man, a man who stood up for his beliefs and taught students not only academically, but by example." Accepting the award today for Mr. Champion is his wife, Ann. We are proud to induct Harry Glenn Champion into the Commerce ISD Hall of Honor.
When I walked down the lane, I thought I was royalty. For a moment I was queen. But this has been an experience I'll never ever forget, even if I lose my mind. Here, this is my supporting group. They always follow me around, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. I cannot tell you how great this has been. The food was delicious. The music was wonderful. I love music, and it was hard for me to keep my focus. But everything has been great. And I'm just so glad to see this progress being made. I think now that Mr. Day see why everybody loves Commerce, because it is a town, small but great in its doings and in its progress. And we do appreciate all that you've done. We just hope that this will be something that we'll look forward to every year. Thank you very kindly.
Emmett Day Sr. Would the members of Mr. Day's family and support group please rise to be recognized? Emmett Elbert Day Sr., CHS Class of 1933, valedictorian. Youngest son of former CISD Superintendent A.L. Day. Emmett Day Sr. left Commerce and East Texas State Teachers College with his BA degree in 1936 to teach industrial arts in San Antonio. However, his desire to become an engineer led him to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he received another bachelor's degree and a master's in mechanical engineering. A visit to Seattle in 1947 led him to join the teaching faculty at the University of Washington, going from instructor to full professor in a short, unprecedented 7 years. His research in stress analysis, strain gauges, strength of materials, and machine design led him to be called on by commercial companies such as Boeing, Chance, Vogue, and others for his knowledge in the design of airplane skins. Day was active and rose to the highest leadership position in national professional organizations. In 2008, he was awarded the F.G. Tatnall Award at 93 years old by the Society for the Experimental Mechanics, which recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the society. Day continues to visit Commerce yearly and rarely misses the CHS reunion. We are proud to induct Emmett Day Sr. into the Commerce ISD Hall of Honor.
Of course, I'm highly honored to be nominated as a member of the Hall of Honor. It's quite a surprise to me, but it's just a wonderful feeling that your school remembers you that long. I graduated in January of 1933. That's 77 years ago. And most of you are thinking, well, it must have been a primitive high school. But you're wrong. It was a very excellent high school, a going concern, and it was producing a lot of good graduates. In 1933 was the beginning of the worst downturn in business that this nation had ever had, and many families were without income, which had a decided effect on the public schools. But Commerce had three things it was going for it that kept it alive and active during that whole time. One was, of course, the rich farmland that surrounded it and the farmers that were farming it, raising cotton, corn, and other cash crops. And then it had the railroad industry here, which had a big railroad roundhouse for repairing engines. It had a very well, it had a switching yard. I had forgotten about that. It had a very big switching yard for building up freight trains that went out of Commerce. And at that time, it had the offices of the company that assigned men to drive the trains to the towns that surrounded here. And during those years, there were about 12 trains that came through Commerce every day and stopped at the passenger station there, I guess, with some passengers and without some passengers. But times were very strict, and money was scarce, and taxes were low, and so things were not as active as usual. And then it had the East Texas State Teachers College, which was a well-known school at that time, and trained many teachers for the East Texas schools and even far beyond that. So all of those three things kept commerce going and helped the schools. Now, the high school was, since the tax collections were lower, it felt the effect of that, and it was fortunate to have a relatively new high school building, a very, what we thought was quite modern at the time, but they couldn't afford other things. For instance, they didn't have a gymnasium. We could not afford a gymnasium. We didn't have a swimming pool. We didn't have a cafeteria. We didn't have a football stadium, and other things that were considered necessary for a first-class high school. But we had a very good high school just the same. Many students would leave school at noon and go a block down to the square to Mitchell's hamburger joint and buy a huge hamburger for 10 cents and a Coke for 5 cents, and that was their lunch. So others walked home for lunch. They were given an hour, I believe, to go home for lunch. But when a student came and answered the tardy bell at 8:30 in the morning, they were expected to be either in the classroom or in a study hall for the rest of the day except for that lunch period. And there were no students walking up and down the halls like you see in some of the schools. There were none hanging outside. There were no smoking areas. No other things. They were all inside tending to business. And that's what it was all about. And looking back, I remember mostly the academic program because we had excellent teachers. That was one of the outstanding features of it. My father, who was superintendent, as they said, at the time, was a strong believer in a strict program that required maximum student effort, diligent study under class circumstances. And so he concentrated on obtaining these excellent teachers to achieve that. The teachers were not paid like they are today. They were paid about on the amount of $80 or more a month. But that wasn't paid in a check that they could send off and pay their bills with. They had to go to the bank to get a discount. A little cost them a few percent to get cash for that. We called it script at that time. But that was just the way times were. It was hard. They were glad, however, to have a good job, and they worked hard at it, and they did a very excellent job. I remember many of those teachers. I remember them well. I remember Miss Morrison, who was my algebra teacher. Mr. Wells, who was a plain geometry and trigonometry teacher. Coach Happy Morris, who was the science teacher. Mrs. Rowan was the history. Miss Chadwick was the grammar teacher. Miss Greenway taught Spanish, and Miss Lowther taught Latin. So it was a real strict curriculum. 35 years later, Miss Lowther took the trouble to look me up and visited my home in Seattle when she was on tour to Seattle. I was very complimented by that she remembered me as a student of that time. My father was particularly careful about spending the limited funds that were available. So he thought that he would concentrate on a pure academic curriculum, such as American English history, American English and literature, algebra, geometry, plain and solid geometry, general science, chemistry, physics, and many other basic subjects necessary for college work. He felt that any graduate from his high school should be accepted to any college in Texas, any university or college, without an entrance examination. And that's exactly the way it turned out. And the school was accredited by the Department of Education in Washington, in Austin. And so it was quite a successful high school. And actually, I'm proud to be a graduate of that high school. I think it gave me the fundamentals that I needed for further study, and I'll never forget it. Thank you.
Our next recipient, Dr. Jack Pirkey. Would members of Dr. Pirkey's family and supporters please rise to be recognized. Dr. Jack Pirkey, CHS class of 1954, CHS math teacher, coach from 1963 to 1967, founder of the Commerce Educational Enrichment Foundation. After outstanding success as a student, leader, and athlete at Commerce High School, Jack Pirkey went to East Texas State University, where he received bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. He pursued a career as a teacher in Gilmer, Paris, and Commerce High Schools, and culminated his career as Director of Distance Education for Tarrant County Junior College. Dr. Pirkey founded the Commerce Schools Educational Enrichment Foundation in 2001. The foundation provides financial support for CISD academic programs. He said as he progressed in life, the more aware he became of what great education experience he had had at CHS, and thus came his desire to give back to Commerce so that others could excel and benefit from the opportunities available to them here. Working with a committed group of CISD alumni as directors, Dr. Pirkey's Foundation has presented over $170,000 to teachers for specific projects to enhance student learning. The annual CSEEF Boots and Barbecue Dinner showcases the results of grant projects and kicks off the Foundation's annual fundraising. His nominator wrote, "With great vision, deep commitment, and Herculean efforts to afford all students in CISD the best possible education, Dr. Pirkey has successfully led the CSEE Foundation. His contributions to education are endless." Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to invite Dr. Jack Pirkey to the Commerce ISD Hall of Honor.
I've got a little history lesson here for you guys, the gals. So get out your pencil and paper, there'll be a test at the end. First, I want to thank my nominators and the selection committee. When I inquired about who participated in my selection, I was told it was confidential and anonymous. So whoever you are that did the selection and all that kind of stuff, we appreciate it very much. As I sat down to think about what I was going to say in this response, I thought, why not start at the beginning? My love affair with CISD began when I teamed at CHS as a freshman in the fall of 1950. Little did I know that my Algebra 1 teacher, Kate Morrison, that's a long career teaching math at Commerce High School. At any rate, I patterned my math teaching methods from those that I learned at Commerce High School from Kate Morrison. Most of you know that I earned 3 degrees from ETSU. I was able to complete the required writing with the knowledge I got from Tula Milford and Lois Heinemann. I was also on the Tiger Tip staff my senior year. I still have a copy of each edition that was printed that year. How did I make all those deadlines? Using the typing skills I learned from Dorothy Counter. In the mid-60s, I came back to teach and coach at Commerce High School. Beverly and I decided to build a house. Guess where I'd gotten the knowledge to design the architectural drawings? You guessed it, Ed Myrick, Commerce High School. 2 years, mechanical drawing and architectural drawing. After retiring from a 35-year career in education, I began helping my son by keeping books for him in his new veterinary medicine practice. Where did I get my knowledge of accounting? You guessed it, Ellen Dixon, Commerce High School. Now you know the basis for the wild thought I had in the fall of 2000. It was a dream. The dream began to take shape just before Christmas. I made an appointment with then Superintendent Loretta Kibler because I knew without her support all the additional pieces of the dream would not materialize. Of course, Loretta then, as she is now, a staunch supporter of the foundation. I don't remember if I shared my dream with her that day, or as a matter of fact, I'm not sure I told anybody. But I thought we'd look around, we'd find 200 CHS graduates who would donate $5,000 each. We would put the money in the bank, give the school all of the $50,000 or so dollars of interest it earned each year, and get on down the road. I found out real quick that wasn't happening. What a shock. All graduates don't have wonderful memories of their high school days. Back to the dream. An exploratory meeting was held in early 2001. It was not difficult to find a small group of CHS graduates who were as enthusiastic about this dream as I was. We had some long and weary days as we jumped through all the hoops necessary to become a 501c3 organization. After all, we just wanted to raise some money and give it to the school, not spend all our time reporting to the government everything that we were doing. The successful beginning of the foundation rests on many shoulders. It was decided at that time to proceed in forming a foundation to support the educational programs of Commerce Public Schools. The naming of the organization was our first hurdle. As you will remember, the high school was winning football state championships about that time. But we wanted everyone to know that this wasn't about athletics. A lot of foundations supported college scholarships for the high school graduates. We wanted everyone to know our foundation was to expand and enhance the educational opportunities for all students beyond the limits of local and state funding. Give students experiences beyond the norm, and not just the high school, all CISD schools. Consequently, the name Commerce Schools Educational Enrichment Foundation. I also found out the foundation's responsibilities don't end when the money is raised. Donors want to know how the foundation is spending their money. And believe me, if you don't handle their money responsibly, they won't give you any more money. The founding donors, our foundation champions, and the consistent donors are evidence of the quality of projects that have been completed by the faculty. Bill and Sophia Furmaster and the estate of the late Lowell Leverman, as our cornerstone benefactors, will also attest to that. No matter how good the idea or intent, without financial support from our wonderful contributors, this foundation would not be successful. And being responsible with somebody's money is not just a matter of keeping the books correctly. It's spending the money in ways that promote the objectives of the foundation. This responsibility is shared with the administration and faculty. Without the hard work and dedication of these people to provide thoughtful and innovative proposals, we would have no opportunity to enhance the educational opportunities of students. This is not an easy task, and unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, we have not been able to reward all grant writers with a successful outcome. The administration and faculty realize the success of the foundation does not end with providing money for grants. Our objective is to enhance the educational opportunities of CISD students. As William Butler Yeats said once, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Our foundation is a multifaceted organization. It begins with our donors. But the true success is measured by the enhanced. By the enhanced education received by CISD students. Early in the life of the foundation, and I noticed it on the program, some people referred to it as Jack's Foundation. This dream initially was mine. As I'm going to get through this. As I began to share the dream, many began to accept it as their own. Today, I accept this honor by sharing it with all of those who have been involved in supporting the dream. We all thank you very much. And with that, I'd like all of the board members, past and present, to stand and be recognized, as well as, I don't know if there's any faculty here that have received grants or not, but if so, I'd like for them to stand and be recognized. I know there's some board members here. That I accept this honor only with your acceptance.
recipient is June Moore Dunn. Would the family and supporters of Ms. Dunn please stand? June Moore Dunn, CHS class of 1953. Name any community activity where the hungry are fed, our new leaders are led, and you will find June Dunn an active participant. As a tireless volunteer in many different civic organizations, Dunn leads her steadfast commitment to excellence, which is reflected in everything she does, according to a fellow alumni making her nomination. As manager for the Commerce Chamber of Commerce for 5 years, Dunn served as director for the Bodark Bash and also for the Commerce Leadership Institute. In other service to the community, she has been a director of Meals on Wheels Board and a volunteer for the local food pantry. She is an active member of First Baptist Church, serving in the choir and directing children's choirs. Dunn is a Hunt County Master Gardener, donating time to lend her gardening expertise to benefit the area. She also serves on the South Sulphur Regional Development Association and is a Bluegrass Festival fundraiser. She is also a board member of the Commerce Schools Education Enrichment Foundation, where she has assumed leadership of several committees. A friend and CISD alumna wrote of Dunn, June's work has had a wonderful impact on many lives throughout her distinguished career. She is indeed a person of integrity and impeccable character. We are proud to induct June Moore Dunn into the Commerce ISD Hall of Honor.
I'm very humbled by this honor from all of you. My classmates of the class of 1953 graciously nominated me for this award. I don't understand why, for all of them are more successful. Among them are lawyers, doctors, aviators, engineers, educators, textile management, musicians, to name a few. I'm still overwhelmed that they chose me. I so appreciate their presence and the presence of my family, friends, and neighbors here today. My mother and dad lived together 75 years. I'm proud to have my mother here today. I'm sad that my dad is deceased, but he would have been proud to have been here. My parents are proud of all of their children. Each of the 5 have been most successful in their own life. My class was the best class. We had good times and we had bad times while in high school. We were teenagers with hormones bouncing off the wall. I really don't know how our teachers could even stand it. But we love each other still. We still meet several times a year to renew old memories and make new memories. We take time to plan lunches and gatherings here in Commerce 5 or 6 times a year. We never grow tired of each other, nor do we want to miss an event, because life doesn't wait for us. We must take hold of it each day. Some of my classmates are on the Educational Enrichment Foundation Board, which I am very proud of. That serves to educate the students. We participate and give our time because of the importance of education to others and show appreciation for the education that we received while attending school at Commerce High School. Several have heavily financially contributed to the board to further enlarge the program for our children through music, computers, computer programming, photography, and the education received while visiting the state capitol in Austin for the 4th grade. The class of 1953 was a pioneer group. Members of my class wrote the school alma mater, put together the first shredded, participated in a wonderful choral group and melodious ensemble group, the best marching band ever, a successful football, basketball, and tennis team. We dreamed the dreams of happy youth. We gathered our wits and energy to embark into a world much larger and grander than we could have imagined. Each of us accepted that challenge, met it head on, and moved into the world of finances, comfortable homes, and vehicles, air transportation, and received an extended education that our parents had not experienced, nor expected to experience in their lifetime. I entered the 9th grade with fear and trembling. I had always gone to school at Harton, a small community in Delta County, 6 miles from here. My class numbered 3, 4, 5 students to each grade. My early years of learning were listening to the other grades as the teacher spoke to the 6 to 8 grades in the room. I see my first grade teacher occasionally at the triennial reunion in Commerce, as she was a Commerce graduate. My parents also had attended this school in Harton, but there came the time of consolidation among the country schools. Many of my classmates transferred into school the same way. That first year was so frightening to me. It was 1949-50, the year of rain, ice, snow, and very cold weather, and the 6 miles of road to my home were under muddy construction, under the umbrella of progress, as it was the first farm-to-market road in that area. My dad would bring me clothes, and because I couldn't go home for 7 days, my dear Aunt Bernice would let me stay overnight the majority of the time that I couldn't go home. The high school building was huge to me. When the bell rang, it was time to make my way up and down that wide stairwell to the 2nd floor. It was very crowded. Sometimes some of us would go the wrong way up and down the stairs, which was very much prohibited. I felt very lost among the students in the 7th to 12th grades. My teachers were kind, and they expected a lot of me. I tried so hard to please them that I bit my fingernails so bad that year that they bled. I loved the teachers and the classes, but always had regrets that I had entered the school too late and did not have transportation to be in the band and tennis and all the other activities. But I was most fortunate to receive many nice honors while at high school and make lasting friendships those 4 years. I am the oldest child in my family, so I forged the way for them to go to the big school. They soon transferred into Commerce and were active in sports, student council, and school activities. My 3 brothers and sister are Commerce graduates and have successful, busy lives. My husband, H.A. Dunn, was a Commerce graduate, and so were my daughters. I am very proud of my children. My oldest daughter, Delisa, is an accomplished computer graphic designer in Nacogdoches. My middle daughter, Vonna, is an aquatic biologist with water quality control in Austin. My youngest daughter, Cinnamon, is an educational diagnostician in the Metroplex area. They do their parents proud, and I love them dearly. We never know when we'll be called upon to be a representative of Commerce ISD. While traveling a few weeks ago in northern Michigan, several of us were in a tourist shop in conversation about the trip and would have yet to buy another memento. A young man recognized by our speech that we were from Texas. He asked where we were from, and we proudly told him Commerce, Texas. He said, I'm from Greenville. But now I live in Michigan. I asked his name. He replied, J.T. Renault. I said, I know you. You are Anna Vicker Renault's son. Anna was in my class in high school. Rarely do we go anywhere that we don't encounter a Commerce graduate. Commerce ISD has proudly educated many prominent people and served and worked throughout every state of our nation. What is our charge today? Educate the young people in our classrooms with the best teachers, the best staff, and the best programs possible. Prepare those young lives as we were prepared for college, the workforce, and all walks of life. Maybe it was the love of music in me that makes me want all the graduates ever mindful of the words, tell us why the orange and black, into our memory keeps coming back. Maybe it was this spirit of learning that makes me want all the students to be mindful that the brass ring in life is education with endless possibilities. True, education comes in many forms. Hopefully the youth of today will let their minds grow, their vision increase, and their quest for happiness outweigh distractions that might come. Let's keep the spirit alive. Let's keep the music coming from the lips and lives of each person that enters a new day of life. I thank you for this privilege of being inducted into the Commerce Hall of Honor. I look forward to next year when other persons will know the complete joy it is to stand before you. Thank you.
We thank you for being here, and in the words of a phrase that I have in there on my wall that was given me several years ago, always remember who you are, where you're from, and who you represent. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. Prep rally is at 3:10. Inductees, we'll have reserved parking spots for you on the east side at about 6:45. We'll meet. There'll be a tent, a white tent inside the gate. Will be a gathering area to visit with the inductees, and then they'll be introduced shortly after the homecoming festivities at about 7:20. We look forward to seeing you. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you for being here.